I've worked for the North Carolina Association of Realtors in Greensboro. I spent 13 years and worked as the education director for 10 and member services director for 3. Got a call one day from people at the Raleigh Association asking if I was interested in making a career move and coming down here. So I came down and talked to the search committee, and they had made some major changes in the organization. They said that they wanted to focus more on creating an atmosphere where it was a member-directed organization, staff-driven, from the way it was run in the past. And they also wanted to focus on creating a larger inventory of products, services, and programs that they could offer the membership. I thought it was a challenge, looked at it, and made the change, came to Raleigh. I think some of the biggest changes is when I left in 2013, the association had grown to 7,500 members. We had a MLS system that we installed in 2001 that was the latest technology back then, where it was window-based, internet-based. We had 5 members on the staff. Our first additional staff member was at the fall of '94. We added a director of education. And that was because the Real Estate Commission enacted legislation and regulations that required all of the people that hold real estate licenses in the area to get 8 hours of continuing education each year. So to meet that demand, we brought the education director on board. She had to create an inventory of programs that met the demands and how were we going to educate the 2,000 people. At the end of our first cycle of continuing education, we had put over almost 3,000 people through the education programs. We had made enough money that we devoted some of those resources that we had taken in, built a computer training center, which is the first one we had. We only had 10 PCs at the time in a small room in the bottom of the building. That's kind of how he has evolved in education. About a year later, our education director moved on to another position, and so we hired a replacement. At that time, the replacement we hired was Cara Moderset, and she's still with the association. She's probably been here, starting her 30th year at the association, but she started as education director. And I think now she's moved up to be our vice president of operations. So that was education was a major field of endeavor for the association for the 20 years that I was here. We had a small parking lot. We only had 26 spaces in the parking lot. We were doing continuing education classes with 100 to 150 people. We had to rent space around Raleigh to have our classes. We had new member orientation once a month, and again, we were having 75 to 80 people join the association. And again, the parking lot wasn't sufficient to handle the number of people coming into the organization. So leadership, again, we decided that we needed to move. We needed to find a new facility. And in 1998, we started a search for a property, and we ended up buying the property where the current building is. We started construction in early '99, and we moved into the building in Easter weekend of 2000 on a Friday and a Saturday. In 1999, we added 2 more management positions to our staff. The first, we revamped the member services director's job profile, and we hired Betsy Ramsey, who stayed with me for the remainder of my 20 years. I think she ended up with about 25 years at the association and a major part of our staff. We also hired our first government affairs director. The association wanted to get more involved in the political arena, so we created that position. Had a staff person stay with us about 2 years, and then we replaced her with a lady named Tara Robbins. She came online with us and stayed with me for about 11 years. So we had a number of long-term staff employees that were key to the organization. I think the best thing I can say is that the opportunity I got to work with some great people on the staff level and on the leadership level from the volunteers. Created long-time friendships. It was a job, but enjoyed walking in the door every day, meeting the challenges, working with a staff that was willing to work through any issues that came before us. There was a lot of stressful days, but working with the staff, we got through all that stress. We overcame a lot of obstacles that we faced over the years, and it was just a pleasure to work here. You had leadership that supported the staff. You had staff that supported each other. We created a good work environment for everybody that came in that front door every day. And I think that's probably my best memory, is working with the people here.